The world's 7,000 languages use hundreds of different sounds. So if we want to use a single universal alphabet to write them all and have every letter stand for the same sound every time, we need an alphabet with hundreds of letters. The trick is making such a huge alphabet easy to learn, to remember, and to use.
The Musa alphabet has over 500 letters, and we keep adding more, but they're all written using only 22 shapes. Here they are, shown on a standard keyboard, along with a spacebar, 3 accents, and the backspace and enter keys.
Each of those 22 shapes can be used in 3 different ways. When written alone, each shape spells a vowel. Consonants are written with 2 shapes. The top one shows the manner, how you pronounce it, while the bottom shape shows the position, where in your mouth it's pronounced.
For example, the Musa M has a bottom that curves up like your upper lip, the N has a straight vertical bottom like your upper teeth, and the bottom of the Eng is horizontal like your soft palate. They share the same triangular top, which looks like your nose.
When we swap out the triangular top for a flat top, we get the letters for the corresponding oral stops. The whole alphabet is built up that way. In this video, I'll show you what all those shapes mean.
Let's start with the vowels. They differ from each other by the position of your tongue, up or down, front or back, and whether your lips are spread or rounded. These factors result in a triangular range of sounds, anchored by the vowel sounds from P, Pu, and Pa.
Let's add 4 more vowel letters on the 2 sides. The sounds are more open, and so are the letters.
The 2 middle columns are for front-rounded and back-spread vowels that we don't have in English.
The remaining 2 rows are for lax vowels. In English, we call them short vowels. They contrast with the tense vowels you already met.
Musa also has a letter for the sound in words like mother, butter, nurse. This sound also occurs in Chinese erhua. To wrap up the vowels, Musa has 2 vowel suffixes, one to spell long vowels and the other to spell nasal vowels.
Normally, Musa vowels are written low, sitting on the baseline. But when a vowel is stressed, it's written high, hanging from the top line. In tonal languages, the accent marks are used to indicate tones.
Now that you know all the Musa vowels, let's talk about the tops of consonants, the manners. You've already met the triangular top of nasal stops like M, N, and Eng, and the flat top of voiced stops B, D, and G. Here are the unvoiced stops P, T, and K, which have a sharp top.
But in English, when P, T, or K begin a word, we pronounce them with a slight puff of air, and Musa has a different top for that manner, with a little horn on top.
When P, T, or K end a word, we usually hold the air in our mouths for a moment without releasing it. The Musa top for that manner is a wedge on its side.
The letters you've met so far spell sounds made with your mouth closed at some point. Lips, teeth, or soft palate. That results in a complete interruption of the airflow, which is why they're called stops. We also use sounds made by almost closing your mouth, but leaving a little opening for air to escape. Because the opening is so small, the air makes a whistling sound as it escapes. If the escaping air hits the back of your teeth, we say it makes a hissing sound. They both have curved tops, but the hissing sounds have curved bottoms too. For example, the sound of F lets air escape between your upper teeth and your lower lip. Whistling. But the sound of S blows air over your tongue into your teeth. Hissing.
Musa has single letters for the sounds that start with a stop and end with a hiss. They simply replace the curved tops with the tops for stops that you already know.
Here's what you've learned so far. As you can see, all the letters in the same row have the same tops, and almost all the letters in the same column have the same bottoms. Almost because the V and F use a different bottom, they're pronounced with your bottom teeth instead of your bottom lip like B, P, and M.
Before we move on, let me quickly show you 4 more exotic kinds of stops. You already met the breathy versions of P, T, and K that occur at the beginnings of words in English. Most of the languages of India have voiced versions of those sounds too.
Some languages have implosive sounds that sound like they're being gulped, like the glug-glug sound we make to imitate a drink being poured. Here are 4 implosives from Sindhi.
Ejectives sound like they're being spit out. Here are 3 of them from Georgian, and even an ejective F from nearby Kabardian.
In Southern Africa, there are several languages that use click consonants. If you don't know what they sound like, it's worth finding a video recording. Here are the 3 click types from Zulu and Xhosa.
Sounds like N, L, R, Y, and W that don't involve blocking the airflow are called sonorants. You already met the nasal tops. Here are the others. Just as the tops of nasal sounds feature a triangle that looks like your nose, the tops of the L sounds feature a closed arch that looks like your tongue, because these sounds are pronounced with your tongue blocking the center of your mouth, while air escapes along the sides.
The world's languages have numerous different R sounds, but the most common are a tap or a trill. Spanish has both. However, the world's 2 most spoken languages, English and Chinese, use a semi-vowel R.
Finally, there are sounds halfway between consonants and vowels, and Musa has 2 sets of letters for them, one for semivowels and the other for semiconsonants. The semivowels are used to form diphthongs.
Meanwhile, the semiconsonants are just very open versions of familiar consonants, for example, produced by lazy speech.
The 4 types of sonorant sounds you just met can also be unvoiced, although they're much rarer than the voiced sounds. Musa uses different tops to spell the unvoiced sounds.
Here's a recap of all the Musa tops.
You remember that the bottoms of Musa consonant letters show where in your mouth they're articulated. You've met 6 such positions already.
Most languages of India have consonants pronounced with your tongue lowered, with the tip possibly turned up. The stops use a zigzag bottom, but the hissing sounds and sonorants round off the zigzag. The R shown here uses the angle zigzag because it's a tap, not a trill.
Languages around the world have consonants, where the body of your tongue rises up against your hard palate. Stops use a triangle bottom, while hissing sounds and sonorants use a rounded version.
You've already met sounds like K and G made with the tongue against your soft palate. It's common for those sounds to be pronounced with the W off glide, so Musa has dedicated letters for that. They have the W built in.
Musa also has letters for sounds made with your tongue a little further back in your throat, near your uvula. They include the Q sound in Arabic names like Iraq and Qatar, and the sound of N before a pause in Japanese.
The L sounds you already met all involve blocking the center of your mouth with your tongue at various points in your mouth. But there are also L sounds where the central closure isn't complete, where we leave a small gap that results in a whistling sound. They occur alone or after an initial stop.
Many African languages use sounds made by closing your lips at the same time as you press your tongue to your soft palate. We also use that same square bottom to spell the dark L that we use in English after vowels.
We can also make sounds deep in our throats. The Musa bottom for that position is a wedge facing down. Finally, we have letters for sounds made using only your voice box. They have letters with square bottoms that open downwards. Arabic has 2 of each.
Here's a recap of all the Musa bottoms.
That's it. You've seen most of Musa, but of course your Musa journey is only just beginning. A good next step would be to take a look at the resources on the Musa website, www.musa.bet. There you'll find some practice reading and much more information. Thanks for watching.